everyone. My name is Jeanette Ramos, and I'm the founder and CEO of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping mothers get the services that they need to raise their children. It's going to provide not only drug treatment services for our mothers, but mentors for our children, home economics for our mothers. This is going to be a one-stop shop that's going to provide for our families. Drugs and alcohol seem to be a big part of our society, and how we eradicate that will be based upon what we do for this population. We're always looking for donations. Help us out with those donations. Anything that you can give would be a great help. We're always looking for beds. We're looking for toiletries. We're looking for money. And anything that you can provide us would be of great help. So if you're willing to provide this population with a second chance at life, check out my website at ittakesavillage1.org, or you can email me at ittakesavillagmom@gmail.com. Here's to It Takes a Village Housing, and I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I'm your host, Dano, bringing you the most fire content that you're ever going to find on the internet, because this is the stuff that matters. The stuff that we talk about on the show, we talk about anything and everything, but we always put a positive twist on everything, and we talk about the lessons and life journeys and blessings and obstacles that everybody has overcame in their life, and we are bringing that that information and that expertise, and we're giving it to you guys. So welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. We have a very special guest in the building for today. It is Sonny Von Cleveland. And if you didn't know, Sonny was actually the second guest that I've ever had on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. That was about a year and a half ago. So there has been a lot of amazing things, a lot of amazing changes that have happened since Sonny has come on. So we got to show Sonny what Weekly Dose of Dano is all about, how we're not the same when we first started. So let's get it. If you guys are watching this right now, if you're rocking with this content, drop a hashtag positivity posse, so I know you guys are rocking with me, that you're engaged, that you're throwing in this positive energy into the show, because we're going to feel that energy and we're going to reciprocate that back right onto you guys. So drop a hashtag positivity posse. You guys are absolutely amazing. We got Amos Cheek. I already know this is a guy. Sonny's right here, man. Every time Sonny comes, he's always bringing a great positive crowd, and I love it, man. Hashtag positivity posse is what I'm talking about. Mike Tyson, you already know I had to rep the Mike Tyson shirt for today, because he is one of the greats, and so is my man Sonny. And also, too, I've been listening a lot to Mike Tyson's interviews and his best clips or best segments that he's talked about during his fights. And man, the stuff that he says is absolutely wild. But he has that unwavering confidence. He knows that he's number one back when he was in his prime. So that's what I'm going to try to mimic as well. I'm going to be on that same type of energy too. So that's why I wanted to rock the Mike Tyson shirt for today. It takes a village 100%. That is my favorite organization in this world. And you guys, if you don't already know, the woman that runs it is absolutely the best woman in the world. And here we go. Another one with the Mike Tyson shirt. Perfect. All right, cool. So everybody, welcome. We got a lot of stuff that we got to talk about, but we have to cover a few things that we do here on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform first. And let's get right to it. So you already know we got to do the affirmations for happiness. I'm just going to open up to a random page like we always do, because I firmly believe, and I say it every week, that every time we open up to a page in the book, it's to help somebody that's watching right now, live or on the replay. So here we go. Let's get to it. All right. This one's for me. I'm sorry. I got to claim this one, but this one is for me. And like I said, if this resonates for you as well, I'm happy to help. So here it is. Page number 93. I'm brave for changing my life in support of my happiness. Change isn't always easy or comfortable, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes in order to feel better. I admire myself for having the courage to create my dream life and go after what I want. So, all right, I guess I'll be transparent with you guys, because you already know I'm always honest. So, I am going through a big change in my life as well. There's a side gig that I have in addition to the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. And I've been at this side gig or this side job for 7 years. And at the end of the month is going to be the last time that I'm basically putting in my resignation after 7 years. So, I mean, this is a big moment for me in my life, because imagine doing something for 7 years and, you're so comfortable with it. You know everybody that's at that place, and you know everything that you got to do, and you have total freedom to do really whatever you want in this, this space. I'm giving that up in order to make some room for my next opportunity and my next blessing. So that's kind of the things that I've been going through. It's been a whirlwind of emotions, to say the least. I mean, there's been, should I really even be doing this, or what am I doing? Like, am I making the wrong move by severing something that I've been comfortable with for 7 years? There's the other side where it's like, man, I'm so excited to start my life and not be confined to this one spot. I mean, it's been an absolute whirlwind. So that one was definitely for me, to have the confidence in yourself. And that's what we always talk about here on the Weekly Dose. Here you go. Sonny's 100% right. Change is growth, 100%. I just feel like we start to get into our own heads about the things that can go wrong, but we have to flip that perspective and to think about the things that can go right as well. So that's, we always talk about that here on the platform. So I'm actually doing the stuff that I'm preaching. So I'm just really happy to be able to make this decision. And, nothing wrong with anything or anybody. I wish everybody the best of luck, but we got to take over the world, okay? And it's not going to be in our comfort zone of 7 years from doing the same thing over and over. We got to change it up in order to grow the positivity posse and to be like my guy, Sonny, because Sonny has experienced a lot of trials and tribulations, especially in the last year and a half. We're not going to get into detail about that, but we are going to talk about the journey. So before we bring him on, we got to do this segment for the week. And this is a replayed segment, but just in case you're new here and you're watching, we always go in the streets of Philly every week to ask people that are in the streets just different questions about lifestyle and positivity. So, and I'm still looking for a cameraman in the Philadelphia area. So if you know of anybody, please send them my way. And enjoy this clip, guys. And please let me know your answers in the comment section below as well. And here's the clip for you. Enjoy. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dano, television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV, and you already know what we're doing for today. We're going around the streets of Philly asking everybody the questions that you need the answers to. Let's get it. What's your name, sir?
My name's Craig.
Craig,
yeah.
Craig, my man. And what's your name is?
Maisie.
Maisie, nice to meet you guys. So if you had a crystal ball that could tell you anything you wanted about your life, would you want to know the answer to it?
Probably, yeah.
If it was something small.
Yeah, if it was something small, why does it have to be small?
I think if it was something big, like when am I going to die, that would be awful. But if it was like, is it worth doing this job? Is it worth doing this degree?
Yeah, like will you be in a good career in the next few years, that kind of thing.
It could save you some time.
What's your name?
Liana.
So if you had a crystal ball that could tell you anything about your life, would you want to know?
Yes.
What was one thing that you want to know?
If I would be successful in life, and how would I get to that spot?
Okay, and why do you want to know that?
Because I don't want to struggle in life.
What's your name?
Noah.
If you had a crystal ball, a magic ball that could tell you anything you want about your life, would you want to know the answer to it?
I think so, yeah.
What would you want to know about?
Probably just like what's gonna happen in my future, like if I'm gonna keep friendships with certain people, I'd like to like know who's gonna be in my life later on.
What's your name?
Sadie.
If you had a crystal ball that could tell you anything you wanted about your life, would you want to know the answer to it?
Well, I do love surprises, but I think I would want to know like where my life is headed in the next couple of years and if I achieve my goals.
Okay, and what goals do you have for yourself?
Oh, a lot of educational stuff, you know, 4-year school and then grad school and then a doctorate program.
Awesome. What's your name?
Lee.
If you had a crystal ball that could tell you anything you want about your life, would you want to know the answer to it?
Oh, most definitely.
What would you want to know?
If there was something that was going to be more bad in my life so that I could work to change it.
What's your name?
Jaden.
Jaden, I'm Dano. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
If you had a crystal ball that could tell you anything you want about your life, would you want to know the answer?
Of course.
And what would you want to know about?
How it ends.
How it ends?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very powerful. And you sound so confident. Why would you want to know? Like, what's so compelling that you want to know about it?
It'd just be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't try to avoid it because, like, that's how people end up messing up their lives and you won't be able to enjoy your life. But it'd be easier to know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, straight up. And, you know, we had somebody else answer that, too. She said she would try to do everything to avoid it. So it's interesting that you said the opposite. So there it is, everybody. If you had a crystal ball that can tell you anything that you wanted about your life, would you want to know? Leave that answer in the comments below. Sonny, you cheated, man. I see that you already answered it in the comments, but when you come back on, you're going to have to elaborate on your answer as well. So without further ado, it is time to bring my guy, Sonny Von Cleveland, on the show. Sonny, stop working on the Frisky Cafe cat business, man. It's time to come on the show.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go. Yeah. Nah, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Life is amazing. Life is beautiful.
What a great question, man. Listen, I love the question and I love the consistency in the answer. I see that as an opportunity to instruct and help teach people that we don't need a crystal ball, right? If you want something, if you want to know if you're going to be successful, believe it. Choose to be successful, right? A crystal ball can't tell me anything I already know. I already know what kind of life I got coming because I will it into existence. I manifest it. So I don't need a crystal ball.
100%. I feel that. Yeah,
that's good question.
That's why we're going to bring you back on for part 2 to help
people
and to help really make them understand that they are really in control of their destiny. And Sonny, you have experienced so many things in this past year and a half. Good things, bad things, and everything in between. Yeah, it seems like it's been so much longer. So,
hold up. We're talking about Philly, man. We can't talk about Philly without talking about the 2 Philly joints right across. What are they called? I keep forgetting the names. The most renowned Philly joints in the game.
No, don't say Pat's and Geno's, brother. Please.
Yes, Pat's and Geno's, baby. Pat's and Geno's.
No.
Let's go, man. Listen. Life-changing Philly cheesesteaks right there. I went to Pat's and Gino. I'm like, which one should I go to? I went to Pat's.
Neither. You go to neither. Next time you're in Philly, let me know. I'll put you onto the right spots. Those are just tourist attractions.
Okay. Well, then bet. Next time I'm in Philly, me and Dan are going to go hit up Donkeys.
Hey, look. Did you just read that on the screen?
I did. I cheated.
Hey, man, that's 2 strikes. One more, you're out. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. So actually, my brother right there, we actually go around Philly, just going to have some different cheesesteaks. So I'll put you on. So now,
man. Okay, you got to put me up. I need to know. Oh,
I'm gonna school you to the game, just like you're about to school everybody else to this game. So
I like it.
We are going to jump right into it. You already know how we do on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. We ask the real questions. All right. So
I like it.
Let's get started.
Let's do it.
So recently you've gone through some trials and tribulations in your life. Good things, bad things, everything in between. What have you learned about yourself during your newly conquered obstacles?
I have solidified that manifestation is a real thing. I've read about it. I've learned about it. And, everybody, they hear about it, right? When we first start learning about the power of manifestation, we're like, yeah, but because most of us think that the power of manifestation is I speak it, it happens. And I used to think the same way, right? So when I'm trying to speak things into existence, some things work, some things don't. You're like, yeah, power of manifestation. But when you learn how to lift the veil of doubt from your mind, then you see, yeah, okay, I can manifest anything I want to, and I'm doing it. I've done it, so I've learned it, and now it's like I just want to teach the world. I want to show people this is why we've been doing it wrong. This is the wrong way we've been doing it. This is how you actually do it, and it's been a beautiful thing. So the best thing I've learned from it is that the power of manifestation is 100% real.
100%. Trust me, I agree with that. That's why I have everything that I have in my life now. And I noticed it was pretty interesting. There was a time, and it didn't last for very long because I'm not a writer, but I would write down maybe like it was about 3 nights in a row where whatever come to my mind, I would write it down and I would share it on the Weekly Dose of Dental platform. And I noticed at the exact same time, you were actually writing down things too and posting it on your social medias. Can you talk about how writing really helps amplify the process of manifestation?
Absolutely. So I study Stoicism because, well, first, what got me to do it was that 90% of the world's billionaires studied Stoicism. I said, well, there must be something to that. So I picked up, and I mean, I have it like right here even, Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Listen, it's a phenomenal book. Ryan Holiday will school you in Stoicism and show you. It is just such an incredible thing when you free your mind and you learn how these great men of the past and women, like Marcus Aurelius was an emperor of Rome at the time when it was war and famine and disease and things are running rampant, yet he ruled wonderfully. So he was a malevolent ruler, or not malevolent, he was a magnanimous ruler who was very kind to everybody, never lost his temper, always kept himself in check. And at the same time, he wrestled, he had hobbies, he had kids, he had a family. And you're like, damn, how does one man handle all of that at one time? But he did. And he tells you how he did it. He didn't even mean to tell you in this. This was his own writings to himself. He wrote this down for himself to illustrate the power of writing your thoughts. Because when you write them down, you're doing something psychological in your mind that is releasing your intention into the world. It's putting it into existence, and it's giving it that one more step to the universe that's saying, this is my intention. This is what I desire. This is what I want to happen. And when you write things down, the universe is like, it's like a machine that's sitting there waiting for you to put coins into it until it hits the right amount. And then it's going to give you whatever it is you're trying to get out of the machine. So the more thought and focus and the more different avenues we use to bring about what we want, the quicker it's going to happen and be fulfilled. And so writing is such a huge part of that. That's why I wrote down every day I write. As I read, I write notes and take notes. And so I wanted to start sharing some of those notes, but I just get so damn busy that it's like, well, I don't have time to do that today. Sorry, let me go do this. And so I kind of fell off doing it, but I still write and study every day because, studying is the best way to learn.
Yeah, 100%. I think another analogy, just in case you don't get the simple analogy that Sonny just told you about putting coins into the machine, it's kind of the universe to me. It's kind of like ordering something through Amazon. And I think everybody knows that one. You know what I mean? You look at what you want, you look at the catalog, you said, hey, I want this. So then you send, you type in your information and then you send it off. Then Amazon ships it to you. You know when it's going to come and you know exactly how it's going to come in that package. And you're not surprised when that package actually comes to your house, right? No, because you ordered it and you planned for it. And it's the same thing with the universe as well. Now, 100%. Sonny, with writing, I mean, how did you actually set time aside to do that? Because nobody actually just sits down and says, hey, I want to write today.
So I do it at night. I have my iPad with the nifty little Apple Pen, and I literally have it sitting in my lap, and I read, and then I scribble, and I read, and I scribble, and I read, and I scribble, and then I just screenshot it, crop it, and pop it up real quick. And it really does not take a whole lot of time or effort, but I've got constant emails coming in, letters and things that I got to respond to. And, it's a lot. So it takes time, but it's a commitment, man. It's you truly get what you want, because when you want something, you're willing to put in the work for it. Like, people will spend half their lives chasing something they don't really want because they think they're supposed to, or this is what they're told, or they're worried about an image. When in fact, if you allow yourself to do what it is that you want, you'll find your passion and you'll do it, and you'll do it a lot because you like doing it.
Yeah. You know what I think too, and we're going to dive in more about this, but I think that concept of fear and just what could go wrong is kind of a big piece on why people don't follow their actions, or don't follow their hearts, or don't follow their souls. You were talking about unveiling the doubt in order to make sure that your manifestations go through. Can you talk about some of the techniques and the concepts that you use in order to take that veil and just shred it apart and rip it apart?
Sure. It simply boils down to belief. Fear is the number one thing that prevents you from communicating with the earth, right? Or communicate with the universe. We are all vibrational energy, right? Everybody. We all come from love. Everybody, every one of us do. And at some point in our beginning stages of life, we either that love paradigm is nourished, or it's broken and we're violated. And that happens to most of us. 99% of people are violated or broken in some way. So it could be parental teaching. It could be atmospheric, whatever. And we lose that love lens, and we start to see the world through, whatever we're taught by society or family. And so we lose the belief in ourselves, right? Like, if you look at toddlers will do anything. A baby will do anything because they believe that they can do it. They just go and do it. They'll grab fire because they're like, whatever, nobody's told me I can't grab fire, so I do it. And they learn through pain, right? And pain begins to build up blockages in our belief in life. We don't think that we can grab fire, but I promise you can grab fire. You just don't think that you can. Right? You can grab fire and you can take that energy and do whatever you want with it. We just learn from pain, and then mom saying, no, don't do that. Immediately it puts up a block. Oh, I did something wrong. Our self-esteem, our self-confidence drops a little bit. And it's just parental teaching that happens to do that, right? But our subconsciously, we start disbelieving in ourselves. We start doubting what we can do. And so we don't. And when you learn how to lift that veil, and it's all about belief. If you say in the morning, oh my God, this day's going to suck. It does, right? The day sucks. If you go to do a job and you're like, oh, this job's going to suck, man. This one's going to hurt. And you're already complaining about it. It absolutely does, because that's what you just said you wanted, right? So anything that you physically do or say in life, the universe is going to give it to you.
Straight up.
If you sit here right now and complain about where you're at in your life, I can tell you why you are where you're at. And it's because you choose to be there. Yeah. And you can look at me and say, well, no, I can't. No, I don't choose to be here, but you do. Yeah. Why are you there? Then why are you there? Well, I got a family that's here. So pick them up and move them. I can't just pick them up and move them. Yes, you can. The word can't means won't. You absolutely can. You might piss somebody off along the way, and somebody might have butthurt feelings. But if you believe that this is the best move for you, do it. Otherwise, you're choosing to stay where you're at.
It's that accountability factor too. A lot of people don't think that, you do. Wherever you are right now is a result of past thinking. And a lot of people, that's a hard pill to swallow, because if you're not at the place that you want to be, then who else can you blame besides yourself? You can't outsource it. You got to just bite the bullet and say, hey, I am the reason that I'm here right now. So Sonny,
you make the choice.
So where's the old Sonny? What have you done with them? I love the new and improved you. I think it's just because he changed his background. Now he doesn't know how to act. No, I'm just messing with you.
That's right. I can tell you it's the last time that we spoke, I had a beautiful home. I was in a relationship. I had a son and basically a stepson. I had my life, a successful YouTube channel. Everything was going beautifully in my life, but I wasn't happy. I was doing it to make everybody else happy. I didn't want to sit and make YouTube videos all day. While I had fun doing it, it wasn't my calling. My calling is to teach, is to speak, is to take stages and teach people and lead and show people how to overcome past trauma. Because we all know, I mean, this whole show is going to be centered on the last year and a half, but just for a quick reference, I was molested the first, 5 of the first 10 years of my life by 4 different men, spent 18 years in prison. And I'm over all that. That doesn't even matter. That's not even a part of my life anymore. We're talking about the last year and a half, right? Yeah. So I went from the life that people are like, oh, wow, what a great life. I wasn't happy. I went and had a Reiki session, and the Reiki master helped me to see past that veil of doubt that I had in my mind. Like, you're right. I'm not living for me. I'm living for them. I'm living to make her life happy. I'm making and while it's not wrong to love your family, and I'm not saying that in any stretch of the imagination, you have to put you first and be happy, because if you don't, you're not gonna be the best for anybody else. And you have to live this life. This is your life, nobody else's. It's your life. You may have kids. Those kids, that's their life too. They all have a role to play. Your spouse, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, neighbors, people you don't know. Everybody has a role to play, and yours is yours. So I made the decision to be happy. I went home and said, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. We can do this the peaceful way, or it's going to turn into a shitstorm. Either way, I'm going to make the decision to put myself first and live the best life that I can for everybody else around me.
And you demonstrated that, right? By moving across the country?
Well, yeah. Well, I went completely homeless. I lost everything that I owned. I lost my house. I lost my car. I lost my son. I lost my YouTube channel. I was hacked, and my YouTube channel was taken. I lost all my sources of income. I was piss poor broke with not a bag to hold on to. And I saw it as an opportunity. A lot of people would see that as, oh, man. It's an opportunity, right? I was there because I wanted to be. I was there because I chose to be, because I wanted to choose my life. Mm-hmm. And I said, watch this. I'm going to show you the power of manifestation, the power of choosing yourself. And I did. I put one foot in front of the other. Go buy a new computer. Go buy a car. Start putting one foot, get another job. Take the money that you saved, get your stuff, get another job. Start moving, start stepping forward, keep living your passion. And within 3 months, I did. And not only that, I met the most amazing, incredible woman on the planet. And she helped give me that confidence back that, like, you're a king. Do what you want to do. And that's all of us. We're all kings and queens because this world is yours, right? I'm not any more special than anybody else. I came into the world the same way you did. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not born with any special powers. We all have the exact same opportunity when you're on this earth. Look at Nelson Mandela's of the world, the Oprah Winfrey's. These people have gone through tragedy and still rose up to change the world, to do what they wanted to do, because everybody has the ability to do it. You just have to choose to, and you have to believe it. And so I did. And I made the move out here because I knew that there was an opportunity out here to pursue my passion and build a great life for my son, and that everything will happen when it's supposed to. And things are.
Sonny, man, you're speaking of facts right now. And I've seen the journey that you've gone through, and I've heard bits and pieces. So, but when we come back, we got to play a quick commercial for the halftime break. But I want you to talk about the importance of transparency, because you say all of these things very open-heartedly and very
100%.
But a lot of people, they're scared to talk about their failures, and they're scared to talk about the reasons why things were wrong. So when we come back from this break, I want you to talk about the importance of transparency. And I got a few other things that we have to talk about here on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. If you're loving this content, I already told y'all what was going to be going on for today. So if you're loving this content, please share it to somebody who might need to hear this. Or if you just want to help your boy Sonny get some more exposure, want to help your boy Dano be a part of the Positivity Posse, share this, like this, comment, do whatever you got to do. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Whoop.
Quick word from our sponsors. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Weekly Dose of Dino platform. We really appreciate it here. And my guy, Sonny. So if you missed it and you're just watching from the break, Sonny just talked about everything that he's had to endure, or just a quick story of everything that he's had to endure and put a positive spin on it. But Sonny, when you talk about these things, you talk about them so openly and so just out there and not hiding anything. You're just leaving it all out on the table. Why is that important that you need to do that, and maybe to help other people understand why they should do that?
Well, it's the answer is really quite simple. Remember, we talked a little bit earlier. What's the number one thing that stops you from communicating with the universe?
Fear.
Fear, right? Most of people act or behave in a way that protects their ego from judgment, right? Like we dress a certain way because we don't want to be made fun of. Like you don't go out with condoms on your head and trash bags on your chest because people will laugh at you and you don't want to be laughed at, right? Because it sucks and you don't want to be laughed at. So with transparency, if I just own everything, if I'm just out there with everything, it's because I don't have any fear. I don't fear judgment. I don't fear what people are going to think because I live my passion. I'm a good, honest, open person, and I hold that accountability up to a very high standard. And it removes the veil of fear. And once you're comfortable just being transparent, open, and honest with everything, like it affects every single area of your life. That's why I have the perfect relationship that I'm in. My spouse and I, we communicate so openly and honestly. Even if it's an uncomfortable conversation, we still have it, and we're still honest and transparent with each other. And I'm that way with every single person that I interact with. I give you raw, authentic me, because it's not for you, it's for me. I'm at the end of the day, I'm doing it because I don't fear judgment. I don't fear people's opinions of me. I don't worry about that because fear blocks my ability to communicate with the universe and manifest things. And my ability to manifest things is more important to me than your judgment or opinion of me.
Of course. And, with that perspective change, I feel like that is such a key piece that everybody's really missing in life, especially with the addition of social media, because a lot of people can comment negative things, and it's really a free world and free reign when it comes to putting things on social media. Now, I wanted to talk about one of the pieces of things that I've seen to your social media as well. Recently, you went to go to the Boys and Girls Club to speak to a bunch of kids. Can you talk about what the topic of conversation was about?
Yeah, well, we didn't actually end up doing that. And one of the sad things is, even on the surface, a lot of, good one, because I got to think of the politically correct way to go about this. So there's a competition that exists between organizations that proclaim to want to help, right?
Okay.
So I think the Boys and Girls Club of America is an amazing institution as a whole. But when you're dealing with a certain district or place, there's like this level of competition where there's another organization that does kind of the same thing. And this organization doesn't want to work with this organization. So if you represent this organization, they'll say, oh yeah, we want this to happen. Oh yeah, absolutely. But then somebody from the higher ups like, well, let's just put weight on it. And then it might not be the appropriate time. And they'll do it very diplomatically, but it's because of a competition. They want to be the ones to be seen as, we brought this message, or we did this good, or we did this good, not that organization. And it's sad because at the end of the day, the purpose of what we are trying to do is help kids.
Yeah.
Not your bank account or your organization status. We're not here for that. We're supposed to be trying to help children who are scared right now because there's back-to-back shootings and the truth of it all is that a school shooting is super, super rare. But kids don't understand that because it's all over social media now, way more than ever. So when it happens, it just gets blasted all over social media. So they think it's common. So these kids are scared. They're in their schools like, oh my God, what if it happens here? And instead of everybody coming together and saying, all right, let's go show these kids that it's so very rare and that there's options here that they can feel safe. We'll go over some safety drills, blah, blah, blah. Well, we want to do that on our own. We don't want another organization to come in and help with that.
Well,
It's sad.
So what's your plan now to overcome this obstacle? And because there's
we have other boys and girls clubs of like the Coachella Valley and Rancho Mirage and Cathedral City that we're going to be working with to set up these symposiums where we're going to go in and do some drills and talk to these kids about the danger of that. But I'm an ambassador for an organization called GOOOO to Bullying. That's GOOOO, the letter or the number 2, bullying. And we go and talk to kids. We talk to Oscar Monsignor Romero Middle School in LA. We had about 300 kids in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And we talked to them about bullying because bullying is such a huge thing. 42.5% of kids report being bullied between the ages of 6 and 14. And it's so sad because 48% of that happens in the classroom. Like there's eyes that are right there. It's just that we need to educate kids about being leaders in the schools. Like you have you know that we're going to have cliques. And the goal is to educate the popular kids that you are in a special position in life. You have a leadership role. So if the popular kids can adopt this anti-bullying mentality and this togetherness mentality, they will then disperse that down to the other cliques in the schools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we try to get in and hit inside those cliques and teach each kid you have options and tools. And most of it starts at home. Bullying starts at the home because, and whether you know it or not, and I'm not throwing this at anybody in particular, but here's the thing. Do you know that 90% of parents who work overtime has no effect on their children, right? Zero effect.
Oh, yeah,
Parents that work too much, no effect on their kids.
Yeah.
Little to none.
Yeah.
But parents that work in a job that they hate, 90% of those kids turn out to be bullies. Because, right, and they just work 8 hours and come home and they hate their job because they bring that home. They bring that energy to the home. And the kid absorbs that energy.
Yeah.
You know, and most parents, they're not going to come home and beat their kids for it. They're not going to take it up, but the attitude does affect their demeanor. So they'll have an attitude with their family and they may be a little arsey or whatever to their spouse or maybe their kids, or they get on the phone and they talk to their buddies, and the kids absorb our energy, right? Kids absorb the energy of their parents, and they're not going to do it back to their parents. So they'll do it to their siblings, or they'll go to school and they'll do it because they have to release the dissatisfaction that they have picked up from their parents, right?
So I think all of this stuff is kind of not exactly bullying. I'm not going to compare bullying and racism to the same equation, but I think everything that we learn as children is a learned behavior. So it's like you're saying, if you're treating your kids this way, then they think that's how you're supposed to treat other people as well. Now, Sonny, I'm kind of going to pull back a little bit on the bullying thing, but we can definitely talk about it more because I know that you're passionate about it. But since you said that you went to go speak to a group of kids, 300 kids in LA, I want you to talk about, we're going back to your 18 years that you served. Did you ever think during those moments that were, maybe your deepest, darkest moments in your life, that you would ever come out, overcome it, and teach those lessons to children?
I didn't think it. I knew it.
Oh.
I manifested it. I knew it. I didn't know it the whole time, but the last 6.5 years of my prison term were spent studying and self-evolving. And, I spent 19 months in the hole in 2008 to 2009, into 2009-ish. And that was the pivotal moment of my life. I think I've talked to you about that before, where I met Mallory Bay and I started to do all the introspection. And that's where I started to realize this is what I'm going to do when I get out of prison. I am going to speak to arenas and stadiums full of people and kids, adults, whoever, and teach them how to survive the shit that I have just gone through. And it not only did I manifest that, but the life continued. I'm not special. I'm not just because I had that experience or I wanted to go through that doesn't mean I'm not susceptible to life happening. Because I got out, I had a very successful music career starting, and I made mistakes, mistakes along the way, and I had to learn lessons. So I fell down and then had to realize, okay, get back up and continue to live by your philosophies, and then fall down and then get up and then fall down. I had a conversation with my son, my oldest son, who we don't really have the tightest of relationships. And he said to me at one point, he's 18 now, so he's a man. So we had that man-to-man conversation. And he said to me, I had said to him, you don't ever reach out and contact me. You don't make any effort to reach out and talk to me. And he said, why would I want to associate with somebody who continues to succeed and fall, succeed and fall, succeed and fall?
Wow.
And I said, because that's what life is, son. Life is getting down and getting back up, getting knocked down and getting back up, getting down. It's not about getting knocked down. It's about getting back up. And that's what nobody's perfect. Everybody is going to go up and fall down, but you learn and you keep getting up, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, says the man on your shirt.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think that really spoke to him, and it kind of really hit him. Like, you don't look at somebody who has had a lot of bumps as a failure.
Because they're going back up. Yeah,
right.
I mean, the failure is when they start to tank and they can never bring themselves back.
It's only
up.
the people that fall down and stay down and accept that subpar lifestyle that are true failures. Your failure is a choice, right?
So why is it that, you talk about all this stuff with so much passion, and you knew what you were going to do within those last 6.5 years that you were talking to us about, and you have events like this that happen with your son that, 18 years old, you think you know it all and you think that you're on the king of the world. But for all of these people and all these different life choices and whatever background they may come from, why do you want to give back so much? What is it about being a teacher that really is your calling?
I read an amazing quote from Seneca, who said, "We are all men are born for the sake of each other, either teach or tolerate." And it just resonated with me so hard, because you find a lot of people saying, "I want to know what the meaning of life is. I want to know what the meaning of life is." The meaning of life is to either teach or tolerate. You either tolerate the people that are around you or you teach them. And I believe that most of us are meant to be teachers. Even the evil people in the world are teachers. They're here to teach those of us that are not evil how to be good and how to recognize evil. Everybody has a role to play in the world. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I was put here to sacrifice and suffer through a bunch of crap to teach somebody else how to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I have put in my blood, sweat, and tears to earn the wisdom that I have. I have earned my wisdom. And now I'm so happy because I have the ability to serve now. Now I don't have to go through any of the crap anymore. I've already done it and I've grown wise. I still have a ton of learning to do, but I get to teach. Now I finally get to the point where I get to teach. I get to serve people and I get to help and I get to watch lives change and manifest. I get to watch somebody that I met 3-4 years ago come back and they're like, "Dude, my life is amazing because of you. Thank you." And it's like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to help you and serve you, because that's more fulfilling to me than anything else I could get in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And it all stems back probably to a selfishness, because if I had somebody that gave half a shit about me when I was 14 years old, I wouldn't have had to go through the things that I went through. I don't regret that I went through them. I'm glad that I went through them. They made me who I am. But I don't think any kid should have to endure that. Yeah. And I think every kid should be given the opportunity to choose their life.
Now, I think this is exactly what you want to say, but you just said it in a different way. So you're talking about things that you had to endure, or that people have to endure, that the kids, they shouldn't have to, but they go through it anyway. But I think those learning points in their life are so important to them because it's all about contrast, okay? Let's say if you're always in the bottom all the time, then how do you know what the top is? Or vice versa, if you're always at the top, how do you know what the bottom is? And if you're always clean, then how do you know what dirty is? And you know, it's going to be vice versa. But I think that not transparency, that contrast that we have in our lives is ultimately the best lessons that we can have, because it's, you don't know what you don't know. So the only best way kind of is to go through it is to go through it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't understand that.
The Stoics have a wonderful saying called amor fati, which is basically love everything. Love every experience you go through, because you get the 1 in 200 trillion opportunity to live this life. So be thankful for every experience you have, whether you think it's good or bad. Learn to love it, because you still got to experience it. Pain, hurt emotions and painful emotions are something human beings get. And that's it. So imagine being a rock or being a tree. At least you're not a freaking tree, right?
Yeah.
You know, so you get this human experience and know that it's going to be okay, because the only thing that hurts you is the memory of it, right? If you, and I firmly believe that our voice is our healing vessel. Our voice is what gives that, and which is why I talk about my trauma so much, because it's like weights, right? If you go to a gym, they're dumbbells. The first time you ever picked up dumbbells and worked with them, the next couple of days sucked. It hurt, right? There was soreness. But the more you picked those dumbbells up, the less the soreness was, and the stronger you got, and the more you grew, right? It's the same thing with speaking about your trauma. I was raped when I was in prison. The first week I went to prison, I was raped. I can tell you that easily because I've told a million people. The first couple times it was hard. Talking about being molested by 4 men was difficult. But the more I did it, the easier it became, and the less it hurt, and the less pain was there. Next thing you know, it's processed. It's gone. I don't carry hard emotions anymore. So our voice is our healing vessel, because our voice is the one thing that we have over every other living creature on the planet that gives us the ability to communicate with the universe.
Well, I think I saw a parrot singing a Katy Perry song the other day, so you might have to take that up with the parrot. No, I was just messing with you.
That's true.
Do you think, seriously though, that as from being a man, right? Do you think it's any worse from men to women? Do you think that men have it a little bit harder with trying to keep everything in and trying to hold the family on the back? Can you talk about those false stigmas that if you're a man that you need to act a certain way? Can you please disprove that?
Yeah. Pain is pain. Trauma is trauma. Period. It hurts a female just as much as it hurts a male. And that's just the simple fact of it. The only time that it hurts, or the only reason that men find it more difficult, is because we've been conditioned that way. And that's solely like a Western type thing, right? Like if you go to Hindu or Hindi or whatever, like men don't have a problem expressing themselves, or you know what I mean? And it's definitely, there is no difference. It's just a cultural conditioning that has made it so men are less likely to talk about their feelings and the emotions. It's a masculine thing, and there's absolutely no difference. It hurts the exact same. If I put my finger in a fire and she puts her finger in a fire, it hurts the exact same.
Yeah, no same way it was with emotional trauma as well.
Same with emotional trauma.
You know, I was actually watching the last conference finals game with a friend, and we were at the bar and we were eating wings and having a good time. And, you know, he's going through a tough time in his life as well. And I was there for him to be able to give him a rock. You know, it's just to say, hey, man, let's go grab a beer. Let's go forget about some things. If there's anything that you want to vent, I got you. So we get there. We're talking about everything, watching the game. Everything's going well. And he turns to me and goes, hey, listen, Daniel, can I just tell you something? I goes, what's up? He goes, thank you so much, because, you know, I feel like it's hard to talk about this stuff, this kind of stuff, emotional trauma with other men, because either they start to make fun of you about the bullying thing that we were talking about, or they don't think that it's real, or they just say, hey, get over it. And I heard that and I was like, wow, you know, I feel so bad that, you know, like kind of the same thing he has to go through that in order to experience, you know, all the resiliency that he has within himself. But who cares if you're a man, if you're a woman? And
And I'll tell you something statistically about that. It's the male perspective that made him think that and made you shocked by that. Because
Yeah.
statistically, girls have a harder time talking about emotional stuff with other girls than men do. Statistically,
Really?
because they get tortured, they get talked about, they become the focal point of gossip. They get everything spread around by them. There's so many fake girlfriends in the world, and then they tell everybody in their schools or their communities, and gossip starts. That's why women don't really open up to women. Men think that it's men that don't do it, but women have it worse. They don't do it. There's a higher percentage statistically, and it's true. Ask a woman. She'll be like, I don't really talk about this stuff with my friends because fake friends will destroy your life.
Well, if you're a woman and you're watching this and you want to confirm, you know, my phone is always available. If you need somebody to just hold space for you, I know Sonny is the same way. I don't want to throw your stuff out there, but you know, oh look, here you go. You got a facts. Women are
right
more so than men.
They do, and it's easier to open up to the opposite sex for everybody on both sides because girls will torture each other. Man, they're bad.
Yeah,
they're bad.
Now, I need you to talk about the level of commitment and the focus that you have, because you have so many businesses going on, and you have one, the Frisky Cat business, man. What is that? You know, and talk about what it takes in order to start a business from the ground up.
It starts with a desire and belief. You have to believe that what you're doing is going to succeed no matter what. It's very up and down. It's a lot because it gets scary, right? Like you put all your money into a project and bumps come along the way that you had no idea were there. And the beautiful thing about Claire and myself is that we both see obstacles as opportunities. We don't see a bump in the road and freak out or panic and hit the eject button. So we're able to attack those things head on. But yeah, it's a cat cafe, man. It's an amazing idea. I went to barista school down in San Diego to learn all about making coffee and how to be a barista. And we started to research cat cafes. There's 125 of them in the United States. And it started in Tokyo, and it's such a great way. We're both huge animal freaks. We have 4 adopted cats and an adopted dog from shelters, rescue animals. And it's such a great way to get back. There's more than 20,000 homeless cats in the Coachella Valley. And we're partnered with the animal shelter to help get these cats adopted out. And they have such a higher visibility rate by being put in an atmosphere people want to come to. A lot of people don't like to go to shelters because they end up feeling bad. They hear Sarah McLachlan in their mind and they don't, they feel bad. So they avoid it. If you put them in a cafe with an awesome setting, they're more likely to come in, and then these cats are more likely to get adopted. So that's the goal for that. And we just had to stick with our passion. We're like, this is going to work because cats are therapy animals and people love cats. And we just believe in what we're doing. We are reaching out to the Autism Society to help give some autistic kids the opportunity to come in and work with the animals because it gives them a sense of purpose and they love it. We work with the LGBTQ community to help these kids because here's a big thing that you might catch some shit on this. I don't know, but I've become pretty well versed in this, and I just got to say, nobody chooses to be gay. Nobody chooses to be an LGBTQ. Nobody chooses to be trans, right? Who the fuck would choose that life?
Yeah.
Because they get tortured.
Yeah.
Nobody would choose that life. And so I'm a huge ally for the LGBTQ community because the suicide rate is so ridiculous. And through our company, we're able to give them an opportunity to come get a job and learn how to build something and learn business and start something big. Because once we hit a certain level, we're franchising. So we will let them go to the next one and open that up. And now you're a general manager and you have an opportunity to get ownership within the company. And then we'll open up another one and another one and another one and continue to employ these kids that need an opportunity and might not come from the best of circumstances. So it's an incredible thing that we're doing, and we're really passionate about it. And anytime you are passionate about something, it can't fail, right? Like failure is not an option.
It's not, especially, but when you operate from a place of love and know that you're going to succeed from it, in the end, what's gonna meet you with that same energy? The results that you've been asking for. So, Sonny, man, we only have a few minutes left. Really, only 2 minutes to be exact. But I want to show a clip from our old episode.
Oh,
and
okay.
I want you to do me one favor, man, because when I was looking at myself back then, there's so much that I wish I can tell myself. But after I get done playing the clip, can you just talk to this man that you're seeing in the camera from what we had, all the way back then, about a year and a half ago? I want you to just talk to him, and whatever comes out, just let me know what you think. All right.
Sophie Grace.
And now you're saying that friendship is everything. So I'm 23 years old, and I've always been taught since a young age that your friends who you become. So speaking to somebody my age, is there any advice when it comes to picking friends that you want somebody my age to understand as they're going along through their journey in life?
If they're not moving you forward, they're moving you backwards. You need to pick your friends. Friends are people that want to see you succeed. Friends are people that want to be there for you and will give you the best advice, whether you're right or wrong.
So what do you see when you see that man right there? Is there anything that you have to say to him?
Well, which one, me or you?
For you.
Man, that was a good looking studio setup, man. Woo! I didn't hold the rope on that one. No, I firmly stand by exactly what I said, and I still stand by. If people aren't helping you move forward, they're holding you back. They're taking you backwards. And that is exactly what I've done in my life. Cleaned house, man. I got rid of all the negative people in my life, all the friends that I had. I put them out of my life, man. Amos, you remember that? Woo! That was an old one.
I know.
Amos has become one of my best friends, man. He's been there on the whole journey with me. He's just an incredible, incredible human being, and I love him to death.
Well, shout out to Amos as well, because it's with his support too that you're to where you are right now.
Yes, would not be here.
That was the only time that I've ever had that background of just a smiley face, and that's when everything was.
Bro, I was gonna say my advice to that guy back then on your side would be to burn that sweater and don't ever use that background again.
Noted. Let me write that down. Don't worry. You don't have to ever worry about that. But, in the beginning, you think that you're doing everything right. And when you look back on everything, it's just like, wow, I didn't know.
I'm glad to see your progression, bro. You're absolutely killing it. It's amazing. You were an inspiration to me then. You're an inspiration to me now, man. You are the epitome of hustle and grind, bro. Keep going, man. I'm proud to see where you're at, and I can't wait to see where you go, bro.
Thank you, man. And one more thing before we wrap up everything is, with people like you said, surrounding and throwing out that positive energy, man, I was really able to meet somebody of your caliber and your status. Just to paint a quick picture, the first guest that I've ever reached out to basically told me, in not so many words, that I didn't really have a real television show and that I wasn't big enough to be on, for him to come on. And then you, Sonny, you had hundreds of thousands of followers that, you were this ultimate guy and you're always talking about positivity and you had this energy to you. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out and see what happens. And even in the second episode ever, man, you decided to put all of those titles and subscribers and all of that clout to the side just to say, I'm going to help you out and lift you forward. And I know that's what you're all about. So thank you so much for being on for a part two and everything that you've ever done for me, man.
Don't ever let the words of somebody who lives on YouTube ever detract you from what you're doing, man.
Hey, if I would have listened to that guy, we wouldn't have been here right now speaking. And we're in the third season, man. Season number 3. Let's go. Right. So I hope you guys have a great, wonderful weekend. Thank you, Sonny, for coming on again.
Absolutely.
Everybody, if there's a decision that you need to make, please just do it. Follow your heart. If you need to reach out to me, if you need to reach out to Sonny Von Cleveland on Facebook, you can find him on
an open book. Reach out.
Let's get it. So I hope you guys have a great, wonderful weekend. And I hope to see you guys. Well, I will see you guys next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. Peace, guys.